Viridian, The Green Guide, by Clouds. My Head in the Clouds Not Coming Down. Read by Oakshadow 5. Chapter 99. Brainwash. Summary. If two brainwashers fight, does it count as a battle of the wits? Katsuki didn't know how Izuku could still say he wasn't cut out to be a hero, considering that here they were, in what basically amounted to a life or death situation, and the dumbass was excited. He seemed conflicted over that fact, but Katsuki couldn't even be angry about it, because he knew how the nerd got about quirks. Even when they were in preschool and still almost friends, every time Izuku saw a new quirk, it was like he'd been let loose in the candy store, and he wouldn't stop buzzing until he'd learned everything he could and figured out how it worked. It used to annoy him to no end, but now he knew better. That excitement saved lives. "So, how do we do this?" Katsuki asked. "Do we just have Shinzo order him to snap an out of it or something?" "That's a good start," Izuku hummed. "But I doubt it'll be that simple. How in-depth is your connection, Shinzo? Like, can you feel the influence of the other brainwashers?" "I think you're forgetting that this is completely uncharted territory for me," Shinzo responded. "I wouldn't even know where to begin. It's not like brainwashing is a team sport or anything." "Oh, that makes sense," Izuku nodded. "But Kachan makes a good point. Let's start by ordering him to break out of the villain factor's control. Can you do that, Shinzo?" "Sure," Ibex shrugged. "Break out of any brainwashing except for mine." The room was suddenly filled with beeping and alarms as the machines monitoring Ogawa's vitals and brain activity went crazy, and Katsuki felt a stomach drop. "Stop! Make him stop!" Shinzo's eyes widened, and he almost tripped over his words as he hurried to raise the order. Never mind. Stop. Ignore the last order." The room went quiet again as the readings went back to normal, and Izuku let out a slow breath. "Okay, well, that's not gonna work." "Obviously, dumbass," Katsuki complained. "I prefer if you could find a way to break the brainwashing without killing him. Thanks." "It's difficult when that might be a failsafe," Izuku muttered. "I wonder if... but maybe... does it work like that?" "Just spit it out, dumbass," Katsuki snapped, wincing when Izuku flinched. Sorry. I mean... "Don't apologize. You're anxious, it's fine," Izuku assured frantically. "I was just thinking that if he knew what orders he was given, Shinzo might be able to give an order directly opposing it, so the two would cancel each other out." "I can't order him to respond verbally," Shinzo reminded him. "I can really only control actions, so unless you have some other way of figuring it out..." "Well, then, just, order him not to kill himself," Katsuki tugged at his hair. "That's the major problem right now, isn't it?" Izuku frowned. "It's the most urgent, but not the root, so we can start there. It's not really a good idea to leave it at that." Suddenly, Shinzo hissed and grabbed at his head, collapsing to his knees. Katsuki and Izuku were at his side within a moment, but he didn't even seem to be aware of them as he breathed through whatever the fuck had just happened. Katsuki growled in frustration. He didn't know when the doctor had left, just that he was probably off getting more help, but there had to be a call button or something. It was bad enough that he was inches away from losing one friend. He couldn't stand the thought of losing Shinzo too. "Shinzo?" Izuku rubbed his back. "Are you okay? Did the vestiges start fighting back again?" "Not them," Shinzo grit out. I think I know what another brainwasher feels like now. Fuck. "Oh!" Izuku's eyes widened. "I guess that confirms the difference in the two quirks." "Less theory, more action," Katsuki growled. "What's going on, and how do we stop it?" "The only ways are for Shinzo to either overpower the other brainwasher or release Ogawa," Izuku said. "The other brainwasher can activate the quirk remotely, and they're obviously aware enough of Ogawa's brain to tell that we're messing around with it. I guess it's up to you?" "Can't be hero if I give up," Shinzo forced out. "Let's fight." Izuku got a determined look in his eyes and nodded. "All right. Our top priority is establishing you as the dominant force in his mind. Repeat after me. Give priority..." Shinzo took another deep breath. "Give priority. To my orders." "To my orders." "Over anyone else's." "Over anyone else's." Shinzo was panting now, and Katsuki looked over toward the machines monitoring Ogawa's vitals. His brain activity was spiking, obviously, and his heart was racing, but he wasn't setting off any alarms like he had earlier. "How does that feel?" Izuku asked. "Can you still feel the other brainwasher's influence?" Can I still feel the other brainwasher's influence? Shinzo gave a strange laugh. Can I feel the other brainwasher's influence? I'm literally fighting a war in someone else's brain right now. Stop being such a drama queen, Ibex. This is hero shit. Katsuki rolled his eyes. Is it more or less? Shinzo shot him a sullen glare. Less. I think the Vesta whatevers are helping though. Izuku gave a quick nod. Good. We need all the help we can get. The good news is that we've basically primed Ogawa to accept your orders, even if other orders are given. Kinda. Now we can move on to breaking the other connections. Order him to ignore any other voices in his brain. Oh, except the vestiges. Don't forget that. Katsuki watched in amazement as Izuku slowly coached Shinzo through a battle that he couldn't even see. Izuku hadn't ever had a quirk. He'd never been in someone's brain like Shinzo had been, but he'd worked and studied so hard that it was almost like he just instinctively knew the relative strengths and weaknesses of both quirks and was able to manipulate them in his favor. That didn't mean that it was easy or that Shinzo wasn't doing his fair share of the work. It was the weirdest fight Katsuki had ever seen, because even though Shinzo had closed his eyes at some point and was curled up on the floor, he was sweating and obviously pushing his body, mind, and quirk to its limits. The other guy's still there. How much more? However much it takes to save him, Izuku said gently. You can do this, Shinzo. You can save him. I know you can. Just hold on a little longer, okay? Shinzo nodded. At least this isn't fighting robots. Katsuki snorted. Yeah, that was just embarrassing. Shinzo flipped him off without opening his eyes, but the distraction seemed to help because he was a little more relaxed as Izuku gave the next order. Alright, our brains naturally prune away memories and things we don't need, so the villains probably used that to their advantage. It's easier to get someone to obey if they don't remember where they should be resisting in the first place. But you know how it's easier to learn a language if you've already studied it? Even if it's been years and you don't remember any of it, it's easier to learn the second time. Nothing is ever truly erased. So you want him to order Ogawa to remember everything he's forgotten? Katsuki asked. No, Izuku frowned. That'd be overwhelming. Maybe... Remember anything your characters ordered you to forget, Shinzo ordered. Oh! Izuku smiled. That's perfect! Good work! Shinzo gave a small smirk. I think I'm getting the hang of it. I can still feel the other guy, but it's like... I don't know how to describe it. It's like they're clumsy with their quirk or something. That won't make sense, Izuku mused. If it's all for one, he doesn't have time to master every quirk he steals, and even if he gave it to someone else, they weren't born with it. You've had years to master your quirk. It's hard to beat that. Keep going. We're almost there. I have an idea, but it's risky, Shinzo said. The control is a lot weaker than before, though, so I think it'll work. Izuku and Katsuki shared a look, and Katsuki nodded. Go for it. Shinzo took a deep breath. Without hurting yourself. Break out of anyone's brainwashing except mine. Katsuki could tell that the other guy was fighting back, just from the way that Shinzo's entire body tensed up and the way his eyes screwed up in concentration as he fought to maintain control. But even though Ogawa's brain activity spiked, he didn't enter any danger zones like he had before. Keep going, dumbass, Katsuki encouraged softly. You can do this. Just fight those bastards off. You can do it. One moment, they were looking at the monitors and expecting to have to reverse the order. Then next, it was as if something had snapped. All of Ogawa's vitals went back to normal, and his brain activity went back to below normal levels, just like they'd expect from someone being brainwashed. Katsuki looked at his face. He even looked calmer. Shinzo heaved a sigh of relief. I did it. They're gone. Izuku grinned. That was amazing, Shinzo! You're going to make an amazing hero! Katsuki still felt like he was waiting for the other shoe to drop. What now? Now, you let go of your control as gently as possible, Izuku said. He was fighting too, so he would probably be tired. Is someone coming? Katsuki frowned. Maybe the doctor. I can check. He pushed open the door, and his eyes widened as he saw the doctor leading Aizawa and Tsukauchi down the hall. Oh shit. Of course that's where the doctor had gone. 3 kids show up in the middle of the night and start messing with the patient's brain. Of course they're gonna call the heroes. Aizawa caught sight of him and started walking faster, but Katsuki slammed the door shut. Why doesn't the stupid door have a lock? Because it's a hospital, Kachan. The doctors need to be able to get in, Izuku said. It's not just the doctor, is it? Nope, Katsuki said. You're still not ready to get caught. I can't be a hero, Kachan, you know that. Izuku patted Shinzo's shoulder and stood, looking up. Good thing this is a drop ceiling. I saw an empty room a few doors down. See you later, Kachan. Izuku didn't even hesitate as he pulled himself up into the ceiling, moving the tile back into place right as the door opened.
Katsuki Bakugo, what in the world are you doing?
Saving someone, Katsuki growled, loud enough to hopefully cover any lingering noise of Izuku's escape. And hey, it worked! Shut up, Shinzo groaned. Do you have to be so loud when I just gave myself a migraine trying to save your stupid friend? Hey, I'm not stupid, Ogawa piped up. And thank you, but I'm gonna sleep for 1,000,000 years, thanks. Aizawa frowned.
Who's this?
Katsuki smirked. This is Shinzo, General Studies, but not for long, considering that he's who we have to thank for breaking the villain factory's control over this idiot. Shinzo, this is Eraserhead. Shinzo's eyes shut open and he rushed to stand, only to start swaying as soon as he got to his feet.
Oh my god, I finally meet Eraserhead and I can't even... Bakugo, I'm going to murder you.
Get in line, Katsuki said. I already attract serial killers like flies. What's one more? The doctor looked around the room and frowned. I thought there were 3 of you.
There was,
Ogawa confirmed.
Crazy awesome crack analyst. It was kinda cool for how young he was.
Aizawa looked at him suspiciously.
Kachan?
Katsuki stared him dead in the eye. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know why you didn't tell him it was Eraserhead coming,
Shinzo said.
I mean, he's a fan, so he probably would have loved to meet him. A fan?
Aizawa didn't let Katsuki say anything as he turned to Shinzo.
Why would you say that?
He was wearing custom merch. Shinzo let his eyes slide shut again.
Some hoodie that said, "If lost, return to Eraserhead."
I love this chapter. The Battle of the Wits. I am calling it the Battle of the Wits. It is a Battle of the Wits. It's just written so good. And Shinzo brainwashing and fighting and other stuff. And Eraserhead realizing that Viridian was here because Shinzo said, yeah, the hoodie that said a first return to Eraserhead and other stuff. It's just such a good chapter. Oh my god. But anyways, guys, I hope you all enjoyed chapter 99 of Viridian the Green Guide, and I see you all next time. Bye!